Hey guys, Rick and Duke, welcome to another episode of HOGG Words of Wisdom, part of the On the Range podcast entity. So, check it out, guys. This episode is about law enforcement red dot pistol. Now, for my concealed carry holders or my civilians out there, do not, I say again, do not shut this off just because it's law enforcement in there. I just want to address kind of the class we just had out in the Midwest. And talk about some points there. So please, there will be valuable information, whether you're law enforcement, military, or a law-abiding citizen when it comes to red dot pistol. Do me a favor, guys. If you're driving, wait till you find that safe spot. Leave us a rating and review. I don't care if it's just a thumbs up emoji. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends and family all about On the Range podcast, HOGG Words of Wisdom, and Vantage Point. Guys, don't forget, make sure you guys visit warhog.com, kellydefense.com. Sign up for our newsletter. We won't inundate you with rubbish. It's great stuff that comes out when we put them out. And again, we don't put them out all the time. So stay tuned to get all the insights as far as what we're going on, either Warhog Tactical or Kelly Defense. Last but not least, guys, if you guys want to support the show, do me a huge favor. Go check out patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Become a patron. Probably the biggest benefit I will say, besides the training videos, besides the vlogs, behind the scenes, early access to the shows, we do a bi-monthly. That's right, a bi-monthly interactive Zoom call with our patrons. Sit there and solve all the world's problems. So guys, definitely go check that out. Patreon.com/On the Range podcast. So let's talk about law enforcement red dot pistol, or red dot pistol in general. So we just got done doing a class out in the Midwest. Man, for whatever reason, seeing a huge influx out in the Midwest as far as law enforcement officers getting red dot pistols. And I will just tell you this. If you're listening to this, you might miss a couple things because we're going to try to add some things in with the video as well. So you might need to go back and check it out on YouTube. But here's my point. First thing, kind of get these guys intros, range safety brief, all that stuff, treat the range like it's the street, try to give them that right mentality. And then I ask them, for the most part, because I can see their dots beforehand, what's your number one flaw built into that red dot sight? And again, it's a piece of life-saving equipment. So to me, I want to know all the ins and outs. I want to know its capabilities, limitations, all that stuff. And they sit there and nobody has the answer. So for the most part, most of these guys are running some type of open emitter red dot sight. So what that means is, again, for the viewers, you kind of see, for the listeners, you'll have to take here. So for example, you see I've got this Walther PDP with the Aimpoint Acro. When you look at this Acro, it is a complete enclosed box, meaning the emitter's on the inside. So I'm not worried about dirt, debris, water, anything getting on there obstructing that dot from being there. I know for a fact that dot's going to be there. I also know with this optic here, tried it from hot weather, cold weather, all these different variables to try to fog the screen up, do all this other stuff. Nope, no issues. If you guys seen the launch for the Walther PDP, man, one of those or a couple of those, I was actually out in the pouring down rain. I did not worry one iota that my dot wasn't going to be there. But if you have an open emitter system, basically it is not an enclosed red dot. So that emitter is outside projecting that dot onto the screen. So now you've got the potential of having water getting on there, dirt, debris, whatever. Think about if you're a concealed carry holder, I hate to say it, belly button fuzz, now it gets on there, falls on, you come to present, and you've got the possibility of losing your dot. So first and foremost, I want to know, hey man, do I have any issues? That's why I run the Aimpoint Acro. Specific one you guys saw was the P2. I got it P1. People, oh, the battery, this. I never had a drama with my battery. I was getting 6 months. I knew my 6 months was my window to swap out my batteries. Not sure where all this, stuff came out. Because think about it. If you take your battery out of the box, how long's it been sitting there? What's it been going on? Did you actually put another battery in there to see what the lifespan was? So to me, I think the Acro initially out of the gate got a bad rap. Nobody could ever tell me what they got for battery life out of the second one. So it just goes to show there. You know, they always typically bring up the battery, and the battery's cool. And for the most part, I think they were on either an annual or semi-annual battery change. As long as you understand, hey, what is the lifespan of that battery? As long as you're swapping them out, perfect. But just have a plan for that. Mark in your calendar. Boom, that date comes, swap the battery, regardless whether it needs it or not. It's a piece of life-saving equipment. You want to sit there and do that. You know, the other question I kind of ask them is, what happens if you put this red dot on a red shirt? And oh my God, it's like the deer in the headlight. Look, oh, it's got to fade out. It's got to do this. Think about it, guys, right? I don't want to tell them the answer because I know the answer, but I want them to think. I need them to think. If you're a concealed carry holder, law-abiding citizen out there, and you've got a red dot, think about this. What happens when you put it on there? So I know the answer. But again, if I give you the answer, then you're not going to go out and do it. So part of that is just thinking about all potentials with this piece of life-saving equipment that I'm carrying, and then using it. You know, had some dramas out there, you know, battery compartments coming undone, you know, different stuff like that. So again, you don't know till you shake your stuff out. But part of it is just all your classic, what we used to say in the military, your pre-combat checks. So before you walk out the door, before you go on shift, before whatever it is you're doing, if you're military going out the door, man, do I got a fresh battery, or is my battery good? Have I checked my optic to actually see the brightness? Is my battery caps on good? Do I have a witness mark on the mounting screw to see if it comes undone? And then another thing that I like when you're looking at your red dot is, and again, my viewers are missing out a little bit. Hopefully you understand. Or excuse me, my viewers are seeing, but my listeners are missing out. But can you actually be able to adjust your brightness when you have that pistol in your hand? So again, some of these, it's the way the buttons are and stuff like that. It's not an easy fix. So if you think about it, depending what you're doing throughout the day, you know, not temperature, but your brightness is going to change. So it might be one of those where you start at the night shift and, you know, you transition, the sun's coming up. Hey, I might need to bump that thing up a little brighter, or vice versa. Hey, it's going from the day where I've got it bright. Now it's going into the night and I've got to readjust it. So it's one of those, your dot is always going to be changing. In my opinion, you can't just sit there and go, hey, here's this set standard. Sometimes you got it cranked up for those bright days. And man, if it's super dark out at night, man, you just got a big old red starburst. So are you actually getting your accuracy on your shots? So I have to say, I'm impressed that officers, and even for the law-abiding citizens, we're starting to see a lot more trend towards red dot pistol. Understand this. It's not a magical tool, right? Everyone goes, oh, you've got a red dot. It's easier to shoot. Is it? You got to put the time and effort into it, right? What it does, in Rick's opinion, is it takes out the focal plane shift when you're going from your target to your sights. So again, if I stay focused on that target the entire time, now I'm just simply placing my red dot on there, applying my fundamentals and getting my hits where I need to. The other pro is you got to think about this, right? If I'm a canine officer, if I'm an officer where my eyesight's going, right? I'm not worried about all this other stuff, because you got to think your canine officers were pretty much shooting one-handed. Now you got to get out there and practice one-handed shooting with your red dot. But again, just taking, you know, or adding an enhancement to your capability for that officer that's potentially, you know, needs those reading glasses. Well, maybe you don't now because I can see the target clearly. Now I'm just superimposing. You know, Pat Mack's a prime example, man. You know, needs glasses to read, uses the old term, embrace the blur when it comes to looking at the sights. Well, now with the red dot pistol, I'm focused all the time on that target. So again, if my eyes are going a little bit, I'm just putting the dot on there, applying fundamentals, and boom, getting my hits where I need to. You know, a lot of times, you know, you see guys when they initially get red dot pistols, they're out there fishing. So basically what I'm calling fishing is, you'll see they've got that pistol and, you know, it's wiggling going, hey, where's that dot at? Because it's got to go somewhere. man, you've got to set, if you understand kind of what my reference points are during that whole presentation process, yeah, I'm still using my front sight post as a reference, right? To see, yep, I can see it in my periphery. I've got the top of the hood. I present out, and again, it just helps me present out straighter. Where now I'm using the top of the hood, see the glass dots right there, boom. But we also get it to where, are you practicing shutting that dot off and going, hey, what if I don't have a dot? Well, you got irons on there, go to your irons, so it's guys have got to start thinking more with this optic. It's a fantastic tool, don't get me wrong, but you've got to put the time and effort out there. Just a couple examples, right? You can't go out there and give an officer, hey man, here's 5 rounds, go shoot. There you go, there's your fam, and now you're carrying this life-saving tool. No, you guys have got to set up courses as far as that training goes. As far as my civilians, get out there, get some training. You can work on some stuff on your own. You can work your dry fire. You can get all that stuff done. And I am a key component to dry fire training. But you've got to sit there and understand, hey man, can I adjust this dot on the fly? What if I do if the dot's not there? How do I fix all that stuff? Is my presentation clean? My draw from the holster? All these different tasks that you've got to do with your firearm. Now you're just looking at the dot. So again, for me, it's just a great tool that's out there. But again, you have to know what are the limitations, what's its capability, and just have a plan that I'm still going to work my whole dry fire process just like I normally would with iron sights with it. Now, last kind of thing, we'll leave you guys with. So if you think about it, pretty much everyone's running a red dot on their rifle. And even then, back in the day, I can remember, man, that was a point of contention, right? People, oh man, it's going to make you slower. It's going to do this. Well, now we're starting to see more of a ramp up for red dots on pistols. And I'm all for it. But here's the thing, embrace it. Don't sit there and argue it. I mean, I don't see, sure, I kind of gave you the cons. Yes, if you got an exposed emitter, I think you've got some deficiencies built in, as long as you're swapping out your batteries when you need to. And, kind of the last thing, putting the time into it. You can't magically just expect this thing to pull it out of the box, out of the holster, out of whatever you're doing, and, go get your business done. You've got to put the time in and practice with it. So to me, it's just a great tool for those agencies out there. If you haven't brought somebody in, you need training, man, reach out, warhog.com, kellydefense.com, shoot us an email. Definitely look at, coming out and training with you guys. Just embrace it, guys. I don't know of any department in the state of North Carolina that's doing it. For whatever reason, the Midwest, you're starting to see a big push, and my hat's off to those guys, man. Spot on. Whatever magic is being pushed out there. I wish you guys would push it across the country, would see more of it. And just, put the time, effort in to train with it and become more proficient with your firearm. So a couple things, guys, in closing before we go. Got to pose the questions, right? This is between you and yourself. The classic questions I'm going to ask you. Did you work out today? If you didn't, hey, man, you still got time in the day. Go get her done. Did you get your dry fire in? If you're military, law enforcement, law-abiding citizen carrying a firearm, you got to get that dry fire, man. Have a solid plan. Because, again, our dry fire training preps us to go out when we shoot our live fire stuff. Say, hey, is our marksmanship there? Yes or no? Last thing, last couple things. If you're out and about, you find any opportunities for acts of kindness, hold the door open for somebody. I was out at Lowe's earlier today. Gentleman was out there struggling with his lumber falling off. Hey man, at least ask. Just don't assume he's good to go. Maybe he needs a hand, maybe he doesn't. Yeah. Hey, I got it, man. One slipped off. No big deal. And the kind of last thing, think about it, guys. What are you grateful for? All kinds of things. We are this side of the dirt. That should be first and foremost every single day. But man, your family, your friends, your faith, your house, your food, your car. I mean, there's so many things we can sit there and go down the road that we're grateful for, but don't always get in that negativity, especially with the media pumping all that crap at you. But trust me, life is good every single day. So in closing, guys, if you want to know more about red dot stuff, warhog.com, kellydefense.com. Don't forget, you can check out our YouTube page, all kinds of stuff on there as far as red dot pistols go. And don't forget, Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your strangers who's sitting there pumping gas. Hey, man, you heard of On the Range podcast? Go check it out. Like I said, last but not least, do me that huge favor, hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating and review, and that's the way we're going to get the words out there. So just want to say from me to you, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America. Rick and Duco out.